Hey, you switching up, cause if I can't truly be me, it isn't love. So I won't let your standards abuse me. So if that means me choosing you, I lose me. I'll be yelling next, like, excuse me. You go right ahead and do you, baby, cause I'll do me. Oh, no, that ain't no chip on my shoulders. I'm just simply saying if I ain't your cup of tea, then drink soda. That's right, it's finally me and I'm bolder. So them counterfeit relationships, I won't lose sleep. Finally me for real. Walking in my purpose, it's good to be free for real. Knowing that all things they are working, I finally see myself. I know that I am worth it. I ain't even scratched the surface. He be blessing me on purpose. Finally me. Never been afraid to voice your opinion. What if they don't like what I suggest? What if they get offended? But ain't it crazy how fear can misguide your true intentions when you can be the very person in position someone else for winning? You be feeling like your predicament somewhat hypocritic. I mean, if I ain't got it, how in the world I'ma tell you to get it? Huh? See, but we all play a part, baby. We all different. You just gotta decide what you gonna do with what you've been given. See, I learned that being humble show don't mean timid. And I learned that if you stumble, you can still finish. See, you ain't got to hide behind nobody. Stop pretending. If you really want it, then get off your behind and get it. So what if they don't see it? They don't mean he didn't give you vision. Shoot, I made them haters lemonade. What's up? Gave me business. What you got is beautiful, baby, start to finish. Differently than wonderfully made, created in the finally me for real. Walking in my purpose, it's good to be free for real. Knowing that all things they are working, I finally see myself. I know that I am worth it. I ain't even scratched the surface. He be blessing me on purpose. Finally me. I'm beginning to try to return. Work was relevant, but God different days. So my good outweighs my bad days. What's up, everybody? It's Dr. Jazz, and it's finally me for real. Finally me for real. Good to see everybody on a Sunday evening. It's finally me for real. Come on in here. Y'all know how I do it. It's absolutely finally me for real on Sunday, and good to see everybody. Go ahead and do a share and subscribe on my Facebook page or my YouTube page. I am Dr. Jazz, but it's finally me for real. Once a month, I try to have a conversation with an amazing person, and today is no exception. And before I bring her on, want to give a shout out to, of course, all of those of you who are. How did y'all do in church this morning? Did y'all have church this morning? Did y'all go to church this morning? I hope y'all went to church this morning. I hope y'all went to church online or in person. Did you make it to church this morning? I hope you did. I had my first service in person. We call it Victory in person, and it was absolutely, I hope it was phenomenal. Let me know it was phenomenal for you guys. Hey, let me know you guys can hear me. Let me know you can hear me. All right, let me know you can hear me loud and clear. But I'm excited about having this next guest with us. She's from another island, one of those islands in the Caribbean where we make it happen, and that's the island of absolutely Jamaica. Oh, I see y'all saying, hey, let me know in the chat what church you guys went to this morning. Let me know what church you got. Hold on, I'm gonna take off. Here she comes. She's just rolling up in there. All right, okay. So let me know what church you guys went to this morning. Let me make sure I got you all real good. I gotta make sure I got the IG people up in here also. You know, I try to do all of the different platforms so people can catch it. Okay, let me go get the IG saints. Y'all know how they do it. Anyway, let me know what service y'all went to this morning. What church did you go to? If you went in person or if you just simply checked it out in your bedroom.
in your bedroom slippers. That's what happened when you have all these gadgets and stuff coming on. Anyway, I see y'all putting it in there. I see y'all putting it there. What church you went to? All right, VGC is in the house. Put it in the chat. Anyway, so I'm glad on today, this is finally me for real. This is when we begin to have a conversation with some amazing people about life and living and legacy and the whole 9 yard. And this sister of mine, she's been rolling with me for some time. She's a phenomenal life coach. She's from Sister Island, Jamaica. All right, Jamaica. And she's just a girlfriend. She's a ride or die girlfriend. And she'll tell the story how we met and how we connect. But y'all help me put it. Come on, put it in the chat. Let me bring on none other than my girl. What's up, Natalie?
Woo! Finally, finally, it's been a minute. The last time I beat you in dancing competition, and I haven't heard from you since. You've been hiding your face, but it's okay.
Y'all can see she from Jamaica because she talks some smack. She talks some smack. But hopefully this week I'm gonna drop a dance. She's gonna drop a dance, and y'all just go ahead and vote because my legs make my leg does it for me. So so how you doing down there? Where you located now?
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, repping Jamaica. But I'm trying to make sure my people is on here, and I'm not seeing you on Instagram, Dr.
Okay.
Tara.
Okay, and that is on the Finally Me for Real platform. All right, hold on. All right, and everybody, don't forget to do that. What we call it, share, subscribe. Just go ahead and share it. Hold on a minute. Okay, hold on. Let's see if y'all make sure it's on. There's Natalie. I see you just came on my Instagram. So hold on. Wait a minute. Somebody say, hold on. Wait. Finally Me for Real Women. That's where you want to go.
Okay,
All
okay,
right, that's on Instagram. All right, I'm Finally Me for Real Women on Instagram. Okay, you should see me right there right now. All right, I am on YouTube. I am on Facebook. I'm on Finally Me for Real Women. That's all word. And I want y'all to use the hashtag FM. Okay, FM. Use the FM, the number 4, and the word real. All right, there I am on the Finally Me FM, the number 4, and the word real. Because in this space, we try to have real conversation. So that's one of the reasons people say, why you do it Sunday at 6 something? I say, because I let all the church folks get, the great pretenders. People go to church on Sunday morning pretending that they got it all together, pretending everything is great, pretending I'm waving at you. I just send you a wave, girl. I pretending all of this stuff. But all right, the real people shows up after 6:30. All right, so don't come in here with your church clothes on acting like everything is perfect and all is well. This is a real conversation, and I get to have a real conversation with a real sister. When I first met her, she was real. I've known her for some years now, and she still has been real. Hey, Natalie, when you hear the word finally me for real, or the phrase finally me for real, what comes to mind? What you think about? What comes to mind?
Gathering all of myself, right? I believe that the scripture that says, before we were in our mother's womb, God knew us and He had a plan for us. I believe that that scripture is true. But life, and people, and we lost portions of ourselves along the way. We were taught that we weren't good enough, and we started to lie to ourselves that we needed to be everything else but ourselves. So this year, and for the past few years, I've been gathering the parts of myself that are left behind, trying to fit into other people's definition of good, trying to step into other people's definition of Christianity, trying to do what other people think is the right thing for me to do.
Yeah, I think you made a very valid observation and point. That is the gathering of all of yourself to be completely you. And when you think about going back and gather yourself, what did you go back and get? Would you say your number one? What would it be? And what would be your thing? And everybody put in the chat the gathering of the parts of yourself. What part did you go and get?
Well, this year for sure, it was the fun part of me. I realized that I wasn't having a lot of fun. And you know this, I boxed my fun up and I put it in certain periods I didn't allow myself to bring fun into work. I didn't allow myself to bring fun into parenting. I didn't allow myself to bring fun into my relationship with God. I didn't allow myself to show myself on Instagram. So I was the businesswoman on Instagram. But then in the pandemic, I remember you would turn on your camera and you would go live and you would just start dancing. And one day I had a real conversation with you, and I said, I'd be calling her Jazzy T. I said, Jazzy T, how you do this? Because I personally don't like being on camera. I can be on stage, I can be around people, but when it comes to going live, I'm not big on it. I said, how are you always able to just turn on the camera and just be you all the time? Me, I myself, I'm not faking. I just choose which parts of myself I share. And I wasn't sharing certain parts. And she said, just show up and be you, sis. Just go for it. And I started doing it. I started bringing more and more of myself. And during a retreat, I invited some women and I gave them access to see that part of me. And then I boxed it back up. And then I came back. And then my kids, at time, I would show them that part of me. And then I boxed it back up. And then I realized something, that when I had more fun, not only did I enjoy what I was doing, but it was less stressful. I made more money. I connected with real people, not just people who wanted my talent and my gift, but people who actually genuinely resonated with me as a woman, as a mother, as a whole person. So I didn't have to worry about how to be around them. I could just be myself all the time.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, go ahead and answer it in the chat. What part of you had to go back and get. And, for me is I figure if I'm going to, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die being me, and, I'm very intentional. And I think what it is too, when I talk about, you mentioned go and get in the part of you, that dancing is going to get back my culture, which is Trinidad. Because, you from Jamaica, the second beautiful island, the second group of people who can dance after Trinidad,
Mm.
and and people from the island, we've got rhythm, you know what I'm saying? And then we got saved, and like, oh gosh, everything that had to do with our culture, it was demonic, it was from hell, it's the devil. And so we put it in a bottle, and oh my goodness, what I realized is I love to dance, and I just embrace the side of me. And so to hear you talk about that is absolutely important. I was talking to this guy the other day, Dr. Johnny Parker, and he said something great, because you and I are single, and we would like to get married again or get in a series. You want to get married again or just be in a relationship?
Either way, I mean, I'm not limiting it. However God has it. I'm not putting a limit on it.
Okay, so I was talking to him, and I did a podcast. I did a Facebook. Finally, me with him, understanding men, and he said something so profound. He said, "Listen, Dr. J." He called me Dr. J. He said, "You should take your first name and take the letters and make it a description of who you are, and
Wow.
introduce yourself to that person." So so I took my name Jasmine, and of course the J is Jazzy, but the A is I am assertive. Okay.
Ooh.
And the S is no, I'm not safe, I'm sexy. Okay, I know y'all thought it was gonna be safe, but no, it's sexy. All right. The M is I got a millionaire mindset. The
Yes.
I is I'm innovative. And the N is Natalie, I'm sometimes nice and naughty.
Ooh, you got to keep it a little naughty.
Yeah. So listen, so you got the N in your name, and when somebody think about you, and everybody put it in the chat, when somebody, what is one word that absolutely describe you? Because for many years, I was always apologizing for being assertive. Okay, because I don't want to be called bossy. I don't want to be called, they have that word ambitious, and in that word ambitious, There's the BITCH that we know. Okay, this is finally me for real. If you need coaching, go over to Dr. Jazz. This is finally me for real. And I have learned that being assertive is part of my personality, is part of me. And so I have embraced that. What part of you that you've had to embrace that something when people saw it, oh my goodness, you know, you didn't want them to see it because you wanted to not be rejected? What part of you would you think?
I am also extremely assertive. But the part of me, I think in church, I'm literally very feminine. And I was brought up to think that everything about my femininity and my sexy was shameful. I
Mm,
was taught that the very nature of who I am as a woman, my feminine nature, was shameful. But in my healing process, I actually embraced my feminine nature, which has allowed me to balance my dominant nature with my
mm,
feminine nature. And so it has allowed me to dress the way I feel like dressing. Like I like wearing silks. I
mhm.
like wearing, I have curves. You know, I got a little body. So I
Yeah.
like wearing things that show my curves. I'm very affectionate with my words. I can see the best in people and I call it out. And that has actually allowed me to operate in this season with a lot of favor because I will see a woman's beauty and I will call it out. I will see a man's, the way a man is, and I will call it out. And it makes them feel seen and appreciated. Versus before, I didn't want people to think I was flirting with them. I didn't want people to think I was out of order. I didn't want people to think I was too forward. But when people got to know me, they realized, wow, you are like the nicest person. But the thing is, because of the sound of our voice, and because we're very direct, and because we say things, we don't beat around the bush, people tend to think that we are the people to be intimidated by. But when they get to know me, they actually are safer around me than the people who are pretending to be nice, who are softening the blow, who lies to them and tell them stuff that they don't want to hear. So I would say embracing my feminine nature is something that I didn't always do. And in embracing it in this season, I've been able to connect more with women because women are no longer intimidated by what they think is a dominant personality. They
Mhm.
see that they have more in common with me, and they see that I'm here to serve them instead of compete with them. And that my competitive nature, that's another thing. By being Jamaican and Trinidadian, we're naturally extremely competitive. And when I came into this country, we were taught that being competitive was a negative thing. And in this season, what I've seen is that my competitive nature allows me to best collaborate with my clients to help them to dominate in their industry because I am not looking to be among anybody. I'm looking to find ways to build one of one. My clients are one of one. I
Mhm.
don't let them go in and feel like there's a lot of other coaches or a lot of other preachers or a lot of other writers. When I work for my clients, I make them feel like they're the only one that can serve their clients. And so my competitive nature, I no longer hide it. I speak about it openly because I don't compete against you, but I come here to bring dominance for what God has called us to do in this season.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey everybody, I'm here. It's Dr. Jazz with Finally Me for Real, talking to my girl from Jamaica, Natalie Taylor. She's a life coach. She's an amazing person. She'll tell you guys about some opportunities that she has coming up. So I hear you are WWW, a worldwide wondering, traveling, working woman. Yeah, I was asking you what's your plan, and you're like, "Oh, I'll be here." And so, where you going, and what got you going all over the places? And do you need an
Oh,
armor bearer?
such a good story. Let me tell you the story behind it. So when I was 18 years old, that's when the fun chipped off. You know, a lot of us as women, we think that it's the economy or the relationships why we don't have what we've been called to have. But a lot of us are stuck in time. The little girl in us is actually acting up and reacting and responding to things that are happening in our adulthood, which is blocking us from walking in the favor and prosperity that has God has for us in the season. So as I was collecting the different versions of myself, I recognized that when I was 18, I was very outgoing, explorative, and fun. I left Jamaica. I was a young mom. I left Jamaica and I went to England to pursue modeling and and connect with some friends that I had there. But while I was in England, my foster dad was murdered, and
Mm.
so I had to gather myself and become an adult.
Mhm.
I no longer had the grace to enjoy my teen. I no longer had the grace to figure it out. I had to get it together very quickly, and I had to show that I was mature enough, and I had to prove that I was an adult. The problem with that was my nature that was fun, that was outgoing, that was willing to take risk. I couldn't afford to take risk anymore because nobody was willing to give me the patience that I wanted or that I needed. And so at 18, I boxed that portion of myself. And what happened is I had a very toxic way of her coming out. Now she would only come out 1 to 10% of the time. And
Mm.
usually it would be when I was burnt out or I was sick and tired or I was frustrated. And
Mhm.
so this year, when I was checking in with myself, January, I became very sick. I got COVID. You remember that? I had
Yes.
COVID for almost 3.5 weeks. And
Mm.
when I almost died, it was actually around my birthday, January 25th. And I remember my neighbor checked in to say happy birthday. And I told her I had COVID. She said, Natalie, every time since I've met you, every January 25th, you are sick. So I want to ask the woman on here, what cycle have you been living through? See,
Wow.
for me, every January 26th, I did not pay attention because I had become so accustomed to being sick. Some of us have become so accustomed to being broke. Some of us have become so accustomed to being broken, to being rejected, to being abandoned, to being lied, to being abused, to being devalued, and to being minusculed and shrink. I had become accustomed to being sick. It was
Wow.
my normalcy. And so this season, it was COVID. And so we hide behind, oh, it's the economy, it's the job, it's the boyfriend, it's those people. For me, this season, it was COVID. And my neighbor, without knowing it, called me out on the fact that I was living in a cycle. And so I recognized, oh my goodness, every birthday I do not celebrate, I do not have fun because I'm sick. Another excuse I made was I'm a single mother. So because I'm a single mother, I cannot afford to travel during my birthday because I have to be present with my children. We make excuses as to why we're miserable. We make excuses as to why we don't elevate. We make excuses as to why we don't live the life we desire. And so what happened is I started to speak to God. At first, I felt sorry for myself. And then when I was sick and tired of feeling sorry for myself, I was all cried out. I said, God, I desire something. You know, sometimes we got to hold on to God and say, you know what, God, I desire something. Be radical enough to say, I don't know if I deserve it. I don't know if this is my season for it, but I desire something. Where my business was at, it did not look financially reasonable for me to desire this. As a single mother, it did not make sense for me to desire this. But while I was sick and on my sick bed, I said, God, I desire something. I don't want to wait for my next birthday. I want you to treat me. And the first thing I said is, God, I want to tour Europe. But I didn't realize that it was something that was deep down inside of me. I'd been writing it year after year after year, but I'd given myself an excuse for why it wouldn't happen. So year after year, I would desire to go to Europe and do a tour. Ever since I was 18 years old, when I was in England, I was supposed to do a European tour. But something would happen every single time, like the man at the gate of Beautiful, that would rob me from going in to be able to go in the pool and get blessed. But then this season, I said, God, I want you to bless me to go through Europe. And this was me asking God. Now, listen, woman of God, as the months passed, February would happen and God would give me breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And what I started to do was remember what I asked God for. Some of us, we get breakthrough, but we forget what we asked God for. We're looking for a perfect situation. I wasn't looking for a perfect situation. I wasn't willing to wait 12 more months. I was willing to take it right now where I was at. And so I said to a friend of mine, I asked God to travel Europe. She said, wow, that sounds good. And I started to speak about it even though it sounded ridiculous, woman of God. I started to tell her, well, she said, well, what would you do? I said, well, I would go to England because that's where I left off at. And I said, from England, I want to live in Paris for a few days. I want to be able to be on the sidewalk drinking coffee and eating beignets. And I said, then I would also like to go to Spain. I said, but since I'm in Spain, I would also like to visit Morocco. And while I'm in Morocco, I may as well go to Malta. And while I'm in Malta, another day she checked in with me. I said, you know, I saw this cruise. Virgin Atlantic has a cruise. And they have a 7-day cruise that allows you to visit 7 different cities while you're on the cruise. I said, I also want to add that to my trip. And I said, my God, I've always wanted to go to South of France. I've always wanted to go to Cannes. And since we're back, I said, woman of God, she checked in with me another day. I said, I was thinking about it. And I've always wanted to go check out Venice. I see these buildings when I'm doing my nails at the nail shop, and they have the screen up showing you these places in the middle of the water. I said, that looks so good on the screen. I see myself in this 5-star resort in the middle of this place. I said, add that to the list. And I said, after Venice, may we go to Milan because I love fashion. And since I'm wearing Chanel, why not shop in Milan for Chanel while I'm there? I said, but while we're at it, I heard about Lake Como. I see Jay-Z and Beyonce on their yacht in Lake Como. If Jay-Z can go there, for sure I can go there. I said, add it to the list. I said, my God, I would love to go to Sweden, but with this Russia and Ukraine situation, I don't want to go to Sweden or Norway no more. I said, let me go to the Netherlands, and then let me go to Belgium. And I said, you know what? I want to finish it in England, because the last time I left Europe, I had to flee from England. And I said, this time I'm traveling in style. I'm traveling only business class, only 5-star, only top of the line.
And oh my gosh, everybody give a heart. Oh my goodness, my time. Everybody give a heart there for Natalie. So you look like you're going to be gone the whole summer. Did you say you left England at 18 or? Okay, at 18, you know, I talked about this a couple of days ago to a friend of mine, and the fact that the woman of whom made Bishop Jakes made the woman so famous, the woman that Lou Sermon, but she was bent over, she was tied up and bent over for 18 years. Somebody put 18. Wow. And I said the whole thing is we shout over the fact that Bishop Jake said this thing, woman, thou art loose. But right after he says, the Bible says, right after Jesus said, woman, thou art loose, the Bible said, then he straightened her up. And I think it's in this season where God is straightening up women, you know. Yeah. Okay, I think there's another level beyond being loose. Listen, and I'm not knocking anything. Y'all know I'm gonna be a woman down loose celebrating with Bishop, and it's the last woman down loose this year. But I think the next phase is God straightening up our finances, straightening up our faith, straightening up our family, straightening up everything, and that's what I'm talking about. And so to hear you say that you know, had to leave London and now you're making this world tour, going to end back up in London, we believe that when you step foot in there, that everything that was crooked, that God's going to make straight. And so I'm excited for you. And I know what it feels like, because for me, my dream is to play golf on every continent. Yeah, I put it out there like, God, I want to play golf on every continent. And of course, you know, I'm going to be playing in Jamaica real soon, but I'm not going to be waiting until a certain age or anything like that. And I've been playing in Costa Rica, Cayman Island, Lord have mercy, everywhere. I'm going to be playing everywhere. And I think women have to be able to believe they can do it. So I know you're a life coach. I know we've got to get out of here, but what you got coming up before I tell him what I got coming up? And one of the things that I want to say is I wanted Natalie to come on and share, because like she said, we are not in competition. We complement each other with what we do. So what you've got going on out there in your world while you're traveling all over.
Right. Well, one of the things that God has been has truly blessed me with, Dr. Jazz, is the ability to create income regardless of where the person is. So when I came back to this country 5 years ago, I had no credit, I had no income, no cash, no home. I now live in my dream home in a dream community. I now serve some of the top women across various industries. And one of the ways I do that is helping them to create an offer, right? God has given us the gift of talent. He's given us the gift of experience, and even the things that has traumatized and seem to cause people pain is wrapped up in purpose. The first time I heard you at Woman Thou Art Loose, you were talking about it was time to walk in purpose. You were telling me, you were speaking to my spirit on the inside of me and helping me to give birth. And literally, that's what I've been able to help so many women do. So this summer, while I'm traveling, my team and I will help at least 20 women to create an offer. Many of you are waiting until Thanksgiving. You're waiting until the end of the year to create something for next year. I want you to know that what I'm walking in right now, I created last year around this time. And what I was walking in the year before, I always created before the Jewish New Year started. So if it is that you have something on the inside of you and you want to be able to monetize it, you want to be able to put a price to it. David said to Saul, "What will you give me when I slay this uncircumcised Philistine?" Right? The woman, the prostitute, said to the three spies, "What will you give me when I allow you to slay this lamb? When you take down this wall, I know who your God is." And I'm asking you guys, what do you want in exchange for your talent? What do you want in exchange for your gift? The people in the world are making millions while you're scared about gas prices. It's time to stop being intimidated by these demons and devils and start slaying them. Okay? So, what I have going on is I'm helping you in the next 90 days to identify your irresistible offer. What do you have in your house? What empty containers do you have that you can bring to other people and help them to begin to reframe their mind, their ministry, their finances, their health, their situation, their trauma, their experiences? How can you take the experiences that you've gone in through, whether it's formal, educational, or experiential, and be able to monetize that in a way that can bring money into your household? I will help you create multi streams of income to pay for your vacation. Dr. Jazz, my vacation is being paid for by one of my offers. My woman of God, by March, all of my bills were paid for the rest of the year. By March, all my bills were paid for the rest of the year. What I'm helping people do is not sit around and count pennies. I'm saying to you, what do you have? Let me and my team help you to frame that in a way that makes you not just a little money, but a lot of money to cancel debt, get you free, finance whatever it is you're doing. And even Dr. Jazz has ministry in Trinidad. Maybe your heart is to be able to help ministry work that's going on, but you don't have the additional funds. Aren't you sick and tired when you see somebody you're not in a position to help them? Well,
Right.
I will be able to help you to do that.
Wow. Okay. So tell them the address, how they can get to you, email or your YouTube, Facebook. How can they get there before I tell them?
Okay, awesome. So you can find me on Facebook at Natalie S. Taylor. You can also find me on Instagram at Winning Natalie. You can find me via email at winwithnataliesteam@gmail.com. Winwithnataliesteam@gmail.com or winwithnatalie@gmail.com.
All right, everybody, you got it there. And of course, I want to say thanks so very much to my girl, Natalie. Check her stuff out. Listen, it's amazing. She can get you there, and we're excited about it. And safe travel, girl. And I'll catch you on one of those islands one day or one time. But safe travel, and thanks for your time. I love you so very much.
Love you too.
Hey, everybody, that was Natalie Taylor. Make sure you check it out. I see y'all putting it in the chat right there, how you can get a hold of her and check her out. I'm so excited about it. I'm so appreciative of her taking the time. And of course, many of y'all know I've got my one thing coming up. She talks about that one thing, what you got. This is what I got. The only thing I got here is Finally Me for Real Personal. All right, that's my mentorship for pastors, ministers, and CEO. She'll help you make millions. I help you become authentically you, whoever you are, the being before the doing. And it's getting ready to start this coming Sunday on June the 12th. I've got a slot for 4 more people. So you got to go on finallymeforreal.com or I am Dr. Jazz, and you can register. Go to finallymeforreal.com. It's a personal mentorship program. It's a small group of people, and I know it's going to bless you. Hey, listen, until next time, can I tell y'all, nobody can beat you being you. So whatever you do, make sure you are finally you for real.